Yeah. Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going? Welcome to episode 970. Episode number 970 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli. The Walking with Purpose live edition, live today from Red Morton Park because it's been sprinkling off and on, even though there was no rain in the forecast. It's been sprinkling off and on, so I didn't want to take a chance and go over to the trail where there's no shelter. If I'm out 1 3/4 miles and it starts to come down, there's only one way out, the same way I came in. At least the park here, there's a lot of shelter around, so I've got a very interesting show here today. I've got some great information to share, but let me see. Did YouTube fix it? Nope, it's still backwards. You still haven't fixed the mirror image issue on the front-facing cameras of both Androids and Apples, iPhones that is, on mobile live streams. Well, we'll try again tomorrow, right? That's all we can do, right? Keep reporting it to YouTube. Hopefully they fix it at some point. They have fixed it in the past. The same issue happened 3 years ago. They fixed it much quicker back then, but hey, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about Pedro Santiago, Mr.BetonYou. Pedro Santiago, formerly known as Pedro DoorDash Santiago. And the fact that I feel he's being wrongfully sued, and here's why, in my opinion. One more time, today's topic is Pedro, Mr.BetonYou Santiago, is being wrongfully sued. Here's why, in my opinion. Did you hear me say in my opinion? Let's start off on that aspect, right? What is the one and only thing we are entitled to? It's our opinions. And in many cases, our opinions suck ass, right? I've heard people say opinions are like your asshole. They both stink, right? Opinions are opinions, and we are entitled to them. And our opinions are protected here in the United States of America, where this case is taking place and where I live as well. If you're in another country, I'm sure you have your own freedom of speech type of rules, but, we have First Amendment protected rights here, freedom of speech. It allows you to express your opinions about anyone or anything, and it's protected from people retaliating against you and people suing you. Now, people can sue you for whatever they want. People can sue you for breathing air. People can sue you for taking a piss or taking a shit. They can sue you for anything, right? At any time. That doesn't mean they're going to win, because whatever they're suing you for has to hold legal water, or also known as legal merit, right? And this case, in my opinion, let me make it very clear, in my opinion, in case the woman that's suing Pedro is listening to me, I'm not going to mention her name or her company. Make that very clear. So you're not going to be mentioned here. But I'll make it very clear that what I'm stating here today, very clearly, are my opinions that I'm entitled to and protected by First Amendment freedom of speech laws. The lady is related to... Yeah, I'm not going to mention her name, and I don't know about that, but Beastmaster, how you doing? Hey, coach. Well, I'm no longer a coach. I'm the president and founder of the GNA. I've been that for the longest time, but you haven't been around in a while. Beastmaster, what's going on? Great to see you here. I hope all is well with you. So there's a lot to talk about. And I know there's another stream happening right now. At least there was a stream happening. The Real Talk with Roy channel was dissecting the video that Pedro did, I think it was 6 days ago. It's the video that got him sued. It's the video where, he saw an article about a woman that's a CEO for a company. We're not going to mention where that company is at. That we're not going to mention that company's name, and we're not going to mention her name. Obviously, we are doing the best here at the GNA to not get ourselves sued, because even if we mention the names and all that, we're still protected under First Amendment freedom of speech laws. But dealing with lawsuits, even though you're probably not going to lose, right? Dealing with lawsuits like this, which you wouldn't lose, I wouldn't lose, it's a waste of fucking time. It's a pain in the ass to deal with. And they cost you time and money out of your own pocket, whether you hire an attorney or not. Pedro, I'm sure you're going to watch this. And if you do watch this, listen, I know our past hasn't been that great. And it's not because I didn't want it to be great. I've never thought of you as really a bad person. I think you've done some things for ratings, like everyone has done, and we don't have to backtrack. But I think lately you've been on the straight and narrow. And I'm here to go to bat for you, because that's what the GNA does here at the Genuine Networking Association, also known as the GNA Network for short. We stand up for what we believe in. And we stand tall on things where we feel people are being screwed, not only by the situation you're dealing with, Pedro, but by the court of public opinion. And I'm here to do my part to exonerate you from all the heat that you're getting, and to also share advice to you that I feel, we never know what's going to happen, because you just never know. But I feel more than likely, if you take my advice, this case will either be dismissed at some point or you will win in court. That's my opinion. Now, I can't guarantee that. I'm not guaranteeing anything. I can't make any promises. But I've dealt with stuff like this. I've had people threaten to sue me for what you're being sued for. I've gone to court to try to get restraining orders before regarding similar aspects. And it's all boiled down to one thing. You're never going to win a case where it involves protected First Amendment freedom of speech. It doesn't matter if the judge is conservative or liberal. It doesn't matter. They have to apply the law. I'm going to share a story with you. Some of you may know this. Some of you may not. I'm not sharing this. I'm not going to mention names, but I'm sure the other parties will know who I'm talking about. I've been in court several times with the same person over the last almost 2 years. And I think that's all done now. It is done now. Millions of dollars. Lawsuits are a different ballgame. No, they're not, dude. Dude. Listen, honky tonk man, hear me out. Hear me out before you assume things, because it doesn't matter if this woman sued him for $100,000, $10,000, $1 million, $10 million, $100 million. First of all, she knows Pedro doesn't have that kind of money. Pedro is probably doing okay, but he's not a rich man. He's, a middle-class man that's just trying to provide for his family, okay? So there's a reason why I feel, in my opinion, this CEO, is suing Pedro. And she also sued DoorDash. Then from what I read, it said that the case was dropped, and then I guess she refiled after that. And I haven't really looked too far into the second case. I think it was just recently filed. But the initial case against DoorDash was, was dismissed. So I'd have to look further into it. Attorneys are involved. This is big leagues. Listen, honky tonk man, attorneys are going to get, listen, when you're the plaintiff and you hire an attorney and you run a big company that has lots of money, the attorneys are going to get paid whether they win or lose. In this case, my honest opinion that I'm entitled to by my First Amendment rights, is that I think the attorneys that took this case are stupid. Well, maybe they're not stupid, but I think they took this case because they know either way they're getting paid. And this is the client that they want to keep around, right? So if you have a client that you have on retainer and you want to keep them on retainer, you're going to make them happy and take cases that you normally wouldn't take. So you have to understand, honky tonk man, that the attorney is getting paid whether they win the case or not. Well, so let me ask you. I mean, it doesn't matter if attorneys are involved or not. It all matters on the law, which I'll get more into that in a bit, in my opinion. Yeah, and that's all good, dude. I really don't want to listen, honky tonk man, I really don't want to get too far into the logistics or the specifics. I want to keep the names out of the suing party and all that, because I'm just here to state my opinions on what I feel is happening to Pedro, why it's happening, what he can do, and how I feel that this case isn't going to go anywhere, in my opinion. Can't sue someone over your opinion. Sure, you can sue someone for having an opinion, but there's no merit. When suing someone over an internet opinion, that's freedom of speech, right? I'm just being very, very clear here. So yeah, there was a woman I went back and forth. You removed your post from last night? Yes, I did. After I did more research, I'm going to get to that. I removed my post from last night, where initially I thought that this was all garbage, full of crap. I thought Pedro, and I'm sorry, Pedro, I thought you were full of crap because you have a reputation of that. And I'm not saying I don't have my reputation out here as well. I do have a reputation that, I'm trying to change for the better. But then, honky tonk man, you made me aware that on Real Talk with Roy channel, his channel had the case number posted on his community wall. So I went over there and I saw that screenshot, and I went online and did my own research, and I'll share more because I'm seeing a lot more than you folks have seen. I've got all the information, and that's why I'm doing this show here today. So, over the last couple of years, I've been dealing with this woman online. I'm not mentioning her name. She still rebroadcasts me every now and then. Sometimes she'll do it unlisted, and people are now sending me the unlisted links whenever she does it. Sometimes she'll do it publicly or whenever. It doesn't matter. Hey, Tia, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Great to see you here. All right. And I'm going to compare this, what I'm about to share with you folks, to what's going on with Pedro and why I feel Pedro's going to be fine and why I feel there's no legal merit. Hey, babe, respectfully, maturely, professionally. Tia and Dawn, my girlfriend Dawn, is here under the Respectfully, Maturely, and Professionally YouTube account, and Tia is here as well. Two great moderators. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here. Good to see you, says Tia. To Don, wonderful. So, over the last couple of years, hello, ladies, says Honky Tonk Man. Over the last couple of years, some people on YouTube, particularly this one lady, which is what I'm trying to say, she got involved with some people that gave her some ideas in her head. In my opinion, this is what happened. Even though I pretty much know it is what happened, I'll say it's my opinion because, again, it's my opinion and it's protected, right? This woman decided to sue me, and she had duplicated my business. She basically copied my business, and her channel went down for impersonating my channel with the same business name I've had much longer than her, right? And we went to court over that, and we ended up settling because I didn't know there were a couple things that I wasn't aware of when I started the business over 10 years ago that I needed to protect my business. I'm not going to get too far into it. The thing is, I got all those things taken care of, and we're fully protected now. We settled that case, and that was a done deal. And I had actually sued her for intentional infliction of emotional distress. She sued me for $2,500 for wrongfully terminating her YouTube channel, and it wasn't wrongfully terminated. But instead of, rolling the dice, and even if I would have won the case, she would have appealed the case. Then we would have had to hire attorneys. It was a small claims case, and it would have cost more money than just settling with her for $1,000. That's what I did. So we settled that, right? But during that time, on top of her suing me for, the getting her YouTube channel taken down for duplicating my business name, right? Which has been handled. She also tried to get a restraining order on me, saying that I was stalking her and the kid that she takes care of, right? And the judge basically denied her temporary restraining order and said that, she would set up a court hearing. I found out about this. I was served literally 3 days before I was supposed to show up in court in Florida, 2,500 miles away. And I got with the court, and I told them there's no way I can get out there. I have a girlfriend that I'm taking care of. She's going through some complications. I'm her caretaker, blah, 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 right? She was trying to say that I was stalking her, harassing her, defaming her character on YouTube, all this and that, right? Same stuff happening to Pedro right now, right? And guess what happened? I filed letters with the judge saying, I can't, there's no way I'm going to be able to get out there. Can I do this by phone or video? And the judge denied that. Lo and behold, that doesn't mean, even if I didn't show up for court in that case for the harassment order, that doesn't mean she would automatically win. She ended up not showing up to court, and that was dismissed. Right? It was dismissed, right? It was done with. Now, typically when you get denied a temporary restraining order, your chances of actually winning the case are slim, very slim, right? Now, over the course of the next year, this woman kept, doing a lot of crazy things on YouTube, defaming my character. At least that's what I thought it was, in my opinion. Putting out very horrible, altered pictures of my lady Dawn and all that, right? So I ended up filing a civil harassment order on her. This was towards the end of last year in December, right? And she wasn't going to show up, but she luckily was able to joined by Zoom. And I went to court with a lot of evidence. I had a lot of very good, convincing evidence. This woman also has broken the law several times, and I'm not saying that there's no slander there, because the judge even said at the case, and I had the transcripts of it, that she broke the law in two things she did. And I thought I was going to win that case and get a restraining order on her. But the judge said, this is protected First Amendment freedom of speech. Now, I thought it was more than that. Okay? But that's what the judge said. He said, you're 2,500 miles away. It's protected speech. It's on the internet. And that's that. He dismissed it with prejudice. So let me share with you folks here. I have the experience of going to court with YouTube people, right? And this person that is suing, I'm waiting for this dude to walk past with his dog. Hold on. This person that's suing Pedro apparently runs a media company, and YouTube is a big part of marketing her business. So she's worried about her reputation, because what I've read about what her company does, and if I butcher it, I butcher it. I'm not trying to butcher it, but I'm not mentioning it. But what I read about her company is that they're a company that they like to help people. They like to do things that make the world a better place. And this is a company that initially sued DoorDash because DoorDash was saying there was fraud happening on her account. That's the story that I heard. Okay? That's the story I heard. I'm only reading what I read on the same article that Pedro, but I know more now, because I'll share with you how I know more legitimately now, right? But I read the same article that Pedro read, right? And that article is, from what I gather, what he's being sued over. My first question is this, is why is this woman suing Pedro instead of suing the person that wrote that article? All Pedro did was read that article under fair use laws here in the U.S., Section 107 of U.S. copyright law. Copyright also applies to written stuff. So under fair use, Pedro read an article and did his commentary on it. That's all he did. He shared his opinions on it. And by the way, Real Talk with Roy, I know you don't like me, but here's the bottom line. You on your show were saying that what Pedro is saying is not considered his opinions. You're absolutely wrong about that. Real Talk with Roy. Listen, I know I'm slightly left and you're more on the right out there in Nevada. You right-wingers are the first people to flex your muscles when it comes to First Amendment freedom of speech. But when it comes to Pedro Santiago, because you fucking hate his ass, the First Amendment in your eyes, Real Talk with Roy, doesn't apply to Pedro. I was watching your stream before I went live, and I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me, man. What is the Constitution, or does the Constitution only selectively apply to people you feel deserve those rights? Real Talk with Roy? Because let me tell you this. The truth of the matter is, Roy, you've said far worse shit on this platform than Pedro and I combined. Yet no one is coming at you saying, I'm going to sue you for slander or defamation. So, in all honesty, man, I'm watching your show and I'm like, this is fucking hypocritical. It really is. It's hypocritical. Well, because she has a lawsuit out. Yeah, we call those people litigious, right? Just like the woman that kept on suing me until I closed all the loopholes, right? These people are called litigious people, right? So, real talk with Roy. Go back and watch your own replay and listen to what you're saying. You've advocated for freedom of speech before on your shows. But today, because it involves Pedro, like you threw all that out the door. It's like having selective hearing, real talk with Roy. And I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just basically calling you out on exactly what you did. That's it. Go back and watch your own show and listen to how you're basically saying that, oh, this isn't freedom of speech. This is against the law, and I understand why you're getting sued. You hate the guy, dude. And listen, I can understand why you would hate him or hate me, right? Not all of us are going to get along. But the truth of the matter is right and wrong is wrong. It doesn't matter whether I love Pedro or hate him or neutral or whatever. The bottom line is right and wrong is wrong. Now, I don't hate Pedro. I don't even hate you. We've had some unfortunate situations, some unfortunate run-ins, right? And I've been trying to get better and, becoming more understanding and even more reasonable than I already was. And I'm just learning to handle myself a lot better out here on YouTube. But that's what I wanted to say. I was watching your show for the first 45 minutes before I had to run out to go live. And I'm like, come on, Roy, you're better than that. You're typically a good content creator, Roy. Even though you don't like me, you're typically very good at expressing yourself, right? But today, I could totally tell. It's just an all-out assault on Pedro. That's all it is, right? That's all it is. And you know I've had my run-ins with Pedro too. You know Pedro's come at me. People out here on this platform paid Pedro and Hannibal over $1,000 to talk shit about my girlfriend and I. Remember on the Pedro and Hannibal channel? And I'm still being reasonable with them. You know why? Because right is right, Roy, and wrong is wrong. Right? Right is right and wrong is wrong. So, let me see here real quick. My lady says, hey, Honky Tonk Man. Hot Facts has sources. Listen, there's no need for any sources because here's the thing. Here's what I got that you folks didn't get. I have the actual 19-page court filing. Okay? You have to do a few steps to get access to the court records, but they're public information as long as you take the right steps to get access. Now, I think I mentioned at the beginning of the show, this is not a state court case that's handled by the counties. Cases at a state level are handled by the county you reside in, right? This is a federal district level case. Why? Because it's over $75,000. This lady is suing him for $2 million. Right? So I've got everything filed. I went through the 19 pages. And I got my girlfriend Dawn at my laptop to go through it with me. I'm like, I need to have my lady sit next to me because I want to hear her opinion too. Right? Because like my lady said, she loves me and, politically we're on the same spectrum, but that doesn't mean she agrees with everything that I say or do. So I wanted to get her opinion. Opinion, key word, right? And she ended up having the same exact opinion as myself. Like, this is all over a video that Pedro did commentary on over an article that was written on the internet. How's Pedro supposed to know if that article you know, was truthful, partially truthful, completely false. How's he supposed to know that? All he's doing is reading an article that has been out there. And to this day, as far as I know, there's no action been taken on that article. But this woman sues Pedro instead of the company that wrote that article, that news outlet that wrote that article. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that in the gig economy, Pedro has some of the best reach still to this day. And I think that's why he was targeted. I think Pedro, in my opinion, was targeted because this woman wants to silence him because she's so concerned about her reputation. You know, her company supposedly helps a lot of people. Does, good stuff, right? Kind of like what the GNA does here. It's kind of similar, but not exact. It's a media company, and they're backed by some very, very deep-pocketed investors. I'm not going to mention their names because I don't want to, again, I'm trying to do this as respectfully as possible, but get the point across. Joe just told Roy J.O. just told Roy you are talking about him. Roy's mad. I don't give a fuck if Jace, Silicone J.O. told Roy. I want Roy to hear what I'm saying. Jace is a pathetic piece of shit. It's my opinion. Right? J.O., Silicone J.O. Jace has nothing better to do on any given night than waste his parents' money that he inherited and sit in that free house he got through an interfamily transfer. So that's all good. Thanks for letting me know, dude. But I guess. Let me tell you this. Let me ask you this, Honky Tonk Man. Be honest. You like a little drama, huh? You like to see things go back and forth, right? And see, I'm not all about that. But if I have to be about that to get my point across and to knock some fucking sense into people, right? Then that's fine. But I can live and function without drama. And I say that respectfully. I can live and function without drama. I'm waiting for people to pass by. Sorry, I'm on my second lap right now. I am a truth seeker. Well, you're going to hear the truth here. Why would I lie to you? What reason would I have to lie to you? You see, here's the thing. I've worked hard to get my business protected. The Genuine Networking Association is an LLC. The Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short, is an LLC, limited liability company. We also have a business license here in Redwood City. And we also have our fictitious business name, our DBA, Elias Melas, DBA, Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short. And everything else. And we have a state-registered trademark here in California with the Secretary of State office, and our federally registered trademark, actually our federal trademark is going to be registered any day now. It's past the notice of opposition stage, and I've submitted the final, last bit of info they need, and boom, just waiting for them to approve it, and then we're completely protected. So yeah, whatever, I don't care if Roy wants to get triggered, if Silicone wants to get triggered, it's all good. Not a big deal. Let's see who people believe more. Because here's the thing, whether you believe me or not, I really don't care. I'm all about the truth. I've got nothing to benefit from this. I just want to help people. The GNA is about helping people. Right? And I've got all the proof because I have the 19-page actual filing that, I don't know if you saw that, Roy. And Robert Reese, I know you were in Roy's chat earlier, and I commented on your channel letting you know I'm going to talk about this today. I'd like to reconnect with you, and we could talk about this and a bunch of other things. I've got a lot of good stuff. And your wife got back to me today on a comment, Robert, and said that I know you guys are busy and you got things going on with your kids and all that. But if you find a little time, get back to me, because it's starting to get really hot, and you and I can put out the fire, Robert Reese. Hot Facts is tight with Roy. Well, listen, I don't hate Troy. Troy. I don't hate Roy. I don't hate Roy at all. Roy just can't get over the fact that there was one time where I shared my opinion about marriage and divorce, regarding his marriage and divorce. I just shared my opinion because he seemed a bit angry and bitter. And I even apologized after that. I tried to go on a show and genuinely apologize, and he just told me to fuck off. So whatever, it's all good. I'm about forgiveness and moving on, right? But as far as I'm concerned, I don't hate Roy, and it's all good. If Robert wants to be friends with Roy and be friends with me, and it's all good. We don't all have to be friends. I can work with Robert. Robert can work with Roy independently. Right? Maybe one day Roy will see the light and we can all work together again. Who the hell knows? So anyway, all the things I just mentioned, Pedro, is something you should do with your brand. I can help you free of charge if you want to reach out to me. I will help you. Genuinely help you. I don't want your money. You want to pay me anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not asking you for money. I care about the situation because you're going through what I've been through. And that's what I do. I help people. Despite the past, you're in a pretty shitty position right now that you don't deserve to be in. You don't have the money for an attorney, and I understand that. I've been there. But if you trust me one time, your best chances of walking away from this, like nothing happened, are going to be far better because I've been down this road. After this whole thing ends, you should take the Mr.BetonYou brand. I don't think anyone else has it. Get a limited liability company. File for a limited liability company. It shouldn't cost you that much, only $70 here in California. Now, we do have to pay $800 in taxes to have an LLC here every year, but that's only in California. I don't think it's as much or anything in your state. You should create a limited liability company to separate your personal assets from your business assets out here on YouTube and whatever else you do. Right? Right now, you're vulnerable because, everything is, based on your personal assets. And if they happen to win, which I don't think they're going to win, in my opinion, there's no merit for them winning. If they happen to win, then they can liquidate your home, your cars, and everything that you own to get as much money out of that, amount that they're awarded. Now, do I think if she was going to win, which I don't think she's going to win, but if she did, do I think she would get $2 million? No. But right now, even 10, 20, 30 grand, Pedro, would put you and your family in a world of shit. Right? I understand that. So I would get an LLC. I would get a DBA, fictitious business name. I would get a federal tax ID. I would get a seller's permit in case you're going to resell stuff. If you have vending machines, you should already have a seller's permit. I think you said you have vending machines. If you're doing everything as a sole proprietor individual, You're very vulnerable. Very vulnerable. And by you being vulnerable as the main provider of your family, you're putting your family at risk. I'm just saying this because I do actually care. Get a separate PayPal account. And you can open up a business PayPal account separate from your personal one. You can do that with your federal employer identification number, your tax ID you'd get from the IRS. Hopefully this doesn't trigger Pedro to drink again. I hope not. I don't think it's going to. I think Pedro knows. In my opinion, this lawsuit is full of shit. Like I just said, in my opinion, this lawsuit is full of shit. It has no merit in my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinions. I'm responding to what Pedro and other people are saying out here on YouTube, which is well within my First Amendment rights. And if somebody happens to sue me over this, when I'm not even mentioning names of the parties that are very litigious, right? I've got Legal Shield. Also, Pedro, get Legal Shield for small business. It's going to cost you $113 a month, and then get the trial defense supplement. Because what that'll do is give you 100 hours of free lawyer services in case you ever get sued civilly. If you get it won't protect you from criminal charges, but if you get sued civilly, like you're getting sued right now, if you had Legal Shield right now for small business with the trial defense supplement, you would have 100 hours of free attorney services are included, right? This is the best $113 I spend per month. It gives me peace of mind in case something happens. It also lets these dumb fucks out here that have thought about suing me over and over again, it lets them know that, hey, if you do sue me, I'm going to have my attorney covered. You're going to have to get an attorney. So that's my advice to you, man. And if you need any more help, reach out to me. Email me, eliasmelas at genuinenetworkingassociation.org. And honestly, Pedro, I'd be happy to help you because all this stuff that's being talked about, you and this case, the people that are being negative and saying that you're deserving what you get, they don't understand. Or maybe they even do understand First Amendment rights and how YouTube works, right? And your constitutional rights, but they just don't like you. And they're saying because they don't like you, you're deserving what you get, right? And they're saying that, oh, the laws don't apply to you. That's what they're saying. Now, these motherfuckers want to come in here and talk shit about my girlfriend and where she gets her money and how we survive. You can go fuck yourself. Go back to your restream with some mentally ill man and get the fuck out of here because it doesn't matter what the fuck you say. We're in a much better place than you, and that's what you don't like, right? Much better place than you, and you want to come in here and troll and rebroadcast. It's not even Jamie today. It's some other stupid fuck that sucks on Jamie's nuts all the time. And your shit straight right, babe. You know what Dawn and I do, how we make our money, where her money comes from, where my money comes from, where our money comes from, is none of your fucking business, right? And you can assume all you want. But see, you're a big fucking pussy coming in here on a sock account and not using your real name. How about make a video and say that directly to our face, right? And here's the thing. That would be your opinion. We couldn't sue you for that. We could laugh at you all the fucking time, right? You guys want my attention so bad. I'm not even talking about you. I'm talking about a completely different community, yet you motherfuckers can't get off my fucking nuts, right? And you're such a sissy, Mr. Brutal, who's doing the rebroadcast right now, that you won't even leave a stream publicly available because you know I'll fucking take you down. I will. I don't care though, dude. You're a pathetic loser, right? You're a pathetic loser, man. Look at these pathetic losers out here on YouTube, man. They got nothing. Like, they want to come in here and talk about, you know, my girlfriend lives in a I live in the multi-million-dollar house too. It's my family's home, and we've worked hard to build this estate, right? Do you want me to rub in your fucking face that you live in a fucking shithole? Are you fucking jealous because we live in a multi-million-dollar house that just so happened to increase in cost, and we didn't nearly pay that amount of money because my family came out here in the 70s and bought properties before everything went up? Are you fucking jealous that your family didn't do that? Honestly, what the fuck is wrong with you? Right? Well, what is wrong with you? What more do you want me to say? You are blessed to live in a beautiful home. Well, we are blessed, but we're paying into it. And we're lucky to be able to afford paying into it because of the time my father built and bought the home. It just happened to go up in value. See, some of these motherfuckers like Silicone J.O., he's got a family that bought properties and even gave him a property, right? And their properties have gone up, not as much as here in the Bay Area, but they've gone up too, right? You want to be hypocritical, right? You want to be hypocritical. Why? Because, what, you're jealous? You're unhappy where you're at, right? Nothing wrong with that. No, there is nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I mentioned how you could protect yourself better. This is lap number 2. We're going to do one more lap after this. I mentioned how you could protect your business better, Pedro, and I'd be willing to help you with that free of charge. I'm serious. I've been down this road, Pedro, and you know that. And honestly, I don't feel you're getting a fair shake here. And my personal interest in this is the fact that I've been through it and I know how you're feeling. I've always been trying to tell you, Pedro, there are a lot of similarities between you and I. More than you think. The personal development thing, the public speaking, running events. I used to run events in person. So I understand how you feel and where you're going through. Or what you're going through. I understand what you're going through. Now, here's a tip for you. I read the 19-page filing of this case in a federal district court in Missouri. And if you folks want to figure out how you get a copy of this, you get the information from Real Talk with Roy's community post if it's still up. And then go search online. You can get it yourself. It's going to take a few steps, but I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. Right? And to select few people that I trust, it's a public forum, so it doesn't matter. If you want me to email you a copy so you can actually see what's going on, I'd be happy to send it to you. There's no law or anything against sending that to anyone. It's public information. Give me a second. Let me turn the corner here. I have the PDF files. How did you get them? How did you get the PDF files? I'm curious to know how you got them, if it's the same way I got them. So you've read the 19-page document, the filing, and you still think that, do you think that Pedro violated this woman, violated this company? Do you think the defamation is there or not? I'm curious to hear your thoughts, because honestly, all he did was review an article from Courthouse website. I didn't read the whole thing. Okay. Yeah. These people are talking about Obamacare. They want to come in here and try to question what you can easily Google search online. Get the fuck out of here. That's a different subject, different day. So one part of the filing. See, this woman initially, what caused that article to be written, and I can't remember what that article, what that company was. If you remember, Honky Tonk Man, let me know. But basically, what happened was this woman has claimed to have spent $3.4 million with DoorDash ordering food for her company daily for 150 people, I guess, employees and other people that are a part of their business or maybe there that day or whatever, right? And I guess what happened was, is DoorDash supposedly, this is what I read. It could be. Listen, I am just stating my opinions. Okay. What I read was that DoorDash removed her account for fraud. Now, we don't have any more specific details than that. Maybe those details will come up in court if this thing is not dropped before the court date. Maybe this woman will use this as leverage. You remove the video, Pedro, and apologize, and I'll drop the case. I call that blackmail. That would be blackmail. But if that's the case, I don't know. You got to make your own choice, because for me, it'd be a matter of fucking principle. And if she blackmailed you in that way, and it would be practically legal blackmail, they call it a settlement agreement. A settlement agreement equals legal blackmail, right? I'll drop the case if you do this, right? Quid pro quo, right? I love how our system works, man. But so her account was removed, and then I don't understand if her account was removed. Hold on a second. She is from a particular religious persuasion, allegedly. Well, that I don't know. I didn't see anything about that, and I have no comment on that. I can't comment on stuff that I haven't seen. All I can say is what I've seen and what's been verified and what's been not. The only thing that's been verified is what she and her attorney put on the filing. That's what it all boils down to. Okay, anyway. So she could have probably just called DoorDash and ask them what the fraud is. And sometimes when you use a credit card, especially to make large purchases, or you miskey something in, the system flags it as fraud. It could have been her credit card company. It could have been her credit card company. It could have been DoorDash's system, or it could have been a combination of both. And everybody knows, everyone that has a credit card, when you make an unusually large purchase or an unusual purchase, right? Your credit card companies are going to be more prone to block that transaction and reach out to you and ask you, did you make this transaction, right? So something just isn't right here. Like there's a lot of information that is missing. What I think this all boils down to is someone that just, in my opinion, is someone that just wants to silence any of her critics because supposedly her company's trying to do good things for people, and they're on YouTube and their reputation is important. Let me tell you something. Everybody criticizes everyone. And in my opinion, if this woman can't take criticism and is going to start suing everyone over a difference of opinion, then I don't fucking know what to tell you. Then YouTube can't exist. Then might as well take away the First Amendment, because that's what it all boils down to. It's the truth of the matter, right? Now, here's the kicker, Pedro. Even if you represented yourself, here's something you could use that's in the court filing. She and her attorney put that, I guess apparently before she sued DoorDash, she approached DoorDash and offered her company's services for free, offered to help DoorDash for free to try to turn the platform around, to try to address some of the issues regarding DoorDash, such as taking pictures when delivering food. And I guess this is just what I heard from people and what I read. I could be wrong. So I'm just stating my opinions. What I read was that I guess it was a privacy issue to her for people to take pictures, for Dashers to take pictures to confirm that the food was delivered. Here's the thing. If you have a privacy issue with Dashers or people that are doing Uber Eats or anyone delivering something to you, taking a picture, Amazon does that too. Everyone does that, right? It's become standard practice. Then you got to get with Google aerial images that are snapshooting your home and putting your home and everything around it publicly. So, like, right there, that's just ridiculous to me. But like I said, before she sued DoorDash, she offered them her services to help tackle these issues. Also, better background checks and ensuring that, we've got the best people doing dashing and stuff like that to avoid any criminal activity. Listen, it's impossible to in any company, it's impossible to get it 100% right when hiring people, right? I think what happened, in my opinion, what happened is this woman wanted to help DoorDash so she could go out and say, I'm working with DoorDash. DoorDash is one of the largest companies on the planet. They're huge, and they get a lot of exposure, which would give her company more exposure, right? Now, she says she doesn't need the money. Pedro called her out and said she's doing this for the money, and she said in the response to the court case that she's not doing it for the money. Okay. Yeah, so she's got all the money in the world. Fine. Okay. Then what would benefit her besides money? It would be exposure to help more people. It would be exposure to get her company out there in a better light to more people so she can help more people. Fine. If that's the case, I understand that. But there's got to be a better way to do it. And at the same time, this woman is saying that she's claiming her attorney put in there the CEO of this company is a private figure. Well, here's the thing. You can't have it both fucking ways. You can't be a private citizen when you don't want people criticizing you on the internet or in general, and then be a public citizen when you want to work. If you want to work with DoorDash, then you become a public figure because you're in essence helping them, and they're a public company, and they have to address the fact that you're helping them. Because it's going to come out of their, well, actually, you'd be helping them for free, but still, they have to address that, right? I mean, everything that I've seen in this 19-page document, in my opinion, is preposterous. It's preposterous. I can't even believe an attorney wrote this thing. But they're getting paid. They're probably on retainer. They're getting paid, so they're just doing their job, right? And all I'm doing is sharing my thoughts about this respectfully. I'm not attacking this woman or her company. I'm not even mentioning any names. But I'm mainly doing this because I think Pedro is getting screwed. And I felt someone like me could come out here and do something nice for someone and show that, hey, just because Pedro and I have had our differences in the past doesn't mean that I'm not going to help someone when I know I can, and I know that they've been wronged and they really need help. They need support. That's the kind of person that I am. You people on a restream over there, go fuck off. You're not even involved in this shit. Maybe you enjoy the show, whatever, right? This isn't even about you folks yet. You folks are still invested. That's just hysterical. It's fucking hysterical. You giving Pedro advice could trigger her. Be careful. Trigger her in what way? In what way? I haven't mentioned her name. I haven't mentioned her company. I haven't said anything negative. All I'm saying is that this whole thing doesn't make any sense to me. What are you going to sue me for? Talking about the fact that I don't think this lawsuit makes sense? That's my opinion. I'm not criticizing what she's done. I'm stating what she's done and what Pedro has done. And I'm stating my opinions on whether there's merit in this case or not, in my opinion. You can't sue someone over saying whether you feel there's merit in a lawsuit or not based on the information provided, the evidence provided so far. Anyone can sue anyone for any reason, but I mean, honestly, sue for what? Sue for what? And even if anyone does sue me, bro, I've got Legal Shield. I have 100 hours. I get 100 hours every year at no extra cost. I pay $114 a month. And then when I win the case, I'll come out on YouTube and just laugh and use my First Amendment rights to try to knock more sense into people that, wasting courts' time and innocent people's times with frivolous lawsuits needs to really stop. All because somebody on the internet finds an article about us and does a reaction video to it. If what's happening in that article is not true and you feel you're being slandered and defamed, or sorry, that would be libel. That'd be libel right there, because libel written, slander spoken, right? If you think it's libel and defamation, then you should be suing the person that wrote that article if you even want to. Or you could handle it like most people do. Say, that stupid fucking article's not true. Most people will say, you know how much shit there is about me on Google? If you go to the 10th or 12th page, all this stupid shit is not true. Every now and then people ask me about it. I say, that's horse shit. You know who I am. It's not even worth my time. But if a CEO of a company is making something small like this worth their time, I just don't get it. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Okay? Another thing that I want to talk about, because I've got about maybe 10, 15 minutes left. I'm on my final lap. Another thing. I was talking about this with Don earlier. This CEO says that she spent $3.4 million. She spent $3.4 million on DoorDash orders since 2021. That's what I read. Okay? I'm not saying I don't believe her. That's a possibility. Okay? I'm not questioning whether she's done it or not. She says she's done it. I'll take her word for it, right? But if I was I don't get welfare health care. You want to come in here and say stupid shit? I'll just say you're stupid as fuck and go back to your stupid ass restream with Brutal and James and some other people. I'll share more about James over the next few days. I've got an update on that situation. And you know what? Healthcare records and healthcare and income information, that's all private, confidential. So you can sit here and talk all the shit you want. Right? And I'll just say, big fuck you. Have a nice day. I'll give you a fuck you and have a nice day. That's all. That's all, right? Yeah, I'm on welfare healthcare. And Trump is trying to gut that, right? So you're saying like I'm on Medicaid, and because Trump wants to cut $880 billion, for tax cuts for the rich, right? I'm no longer going to be on Medicaid or like you call it, welfare health care. You think I give a fuck about what you think about what kind of insurance I have or I don't? I've actually mentioned the type of insurance I have. And I'm not going to do it again. So, look at these people, man. They're so desperate for my attention, man. Pathetic losers, man. These are the biggest pathetic losers that have ever existed on the face of the planet, in my opinion, of course. But here's the thing. I'm not mentioning names. So who the fuck's going to sue me when I haven't mentioned a fucking name besides Pedro and Real Talk with Roy and Hot Facts with Robert Reese? God, man, these people are dumb as fuck, man. Just ridiculous people, man. So, yeah, so she spent $3.4 million since 2021 in DoorDash orders. I guess she was saying that this is what I believe I read. She's getting DoorDash orders, 150 orders. She would order food for 150 people every day. And she used DoorDash. And she said she's, probably had about 4,300 something deliveries or something like that, right? Since 2021. Now, if I was the CEO of a company, now I run the G&A, if we get to the point of where we have employees like that and we're doing things like that, I would never use DoorDash to get food from my employees. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why I think, in my opinion, this is my opinion. And hey, CEOs, they can run their companies any way they want, but I'm entitled to my opinion. Okay? I'm not going to say you're stupid, but what I'm going to say is that, in my opinion, you're wasting money, because the fees to use DoorDash on the food alone is an extra 15 to 30%. On average, it's about 20% plus other service fees and then tip and all that. In essence, by using DoorDash, you are roughly paying 30% more for your total food bill in each individual order, along with the total food bill, same thing, than sending an employee to pick it up, right? So here's the thing. If this person, the fees are pennies to these people, listen, honky tonk man, you're not understanding. When you're a CEO of a company, right, you got to do what you can to cut costs, to raise your stock price and make your investors happy and make everyone happy, right? If you're fucking wasting money, that's a problem. And here's where I think money's being wasted, okay? Let's say for 150 people on any given day, okay? Let's say that food order, if it's probably going to be ordered in bulk, catering, whatever, right? Let's say it's $1,000, right? That's $1,000 with the DoorDash prices, all the increases in prices and the tips and all that, right? Do you know how much more that order costs going through DoorDash and having it delivered by DoorDash than picking it up yourself? That order would be about $650 to $700 if this CEO sent an employee to go pick it up, okay? So, in essence, by ordering through DoorDash every day, if she's been ordering at the supposed rate that she's been ordering, then she's spending an extra $300 in fees. The elite have a different mindset. No, they don't, dude. You're wrong about this. This is the CEO of a company. Her job is dependent on efficiently spending money. Dude, honky tonk, man. I don't understand. I don't understand where you're coming from, dude. This is wasting money, in my opinion, okay? So you take $300 a day that's being wasted in DoorDash fees, right? If you hired an employee to do that for you, right? You could pay them 1 hour wage to do that, $25 an hour. You're saving $275 a day. Okay? Now, let's say out of the 365 days, not including weekends and all that, let's say that they order 200 times a year. Okay? 200 times a year, right? So $300 a day times 100. That's 300,000, right? Okay? So let me make sure I got that right. $300, 100 days. 4 zeros. Okay? I believe that's 300,000. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that 300,000? Give me a second. 300 times. Yeah, give me a second. Or is that 30,000? What is that? 3,000? Give me a second. All right, we're back live. It is 30,000. Yeah, it is 30,000. Sorry, 4 zeros. 4 zeros. Yeah, I should have figured that out, but I'm on the fly. Can you hear me, Tia? Let me know. More employees mean more benefits have to be provided when you order off DoorDash. It's off the books, and tip is a tax. Dude. Everything is a tax write-off. Everything is a tax write-off, but there's a difference between tax write-offs and saving money. That's called a tax deduction. Okay? No, I understand what you're saying, bro. I understand what you're saying, dude. But you still don't want to waste money on stuff frivolously, even though you can write it off. it's still gonna hit your bottom line more than if you send an employee out to get your food. I figured it out a different way, okay? She said $3.4 million is what she spent since 2021, right? If you take 30% of that, that's just over $1 million. If you even knock that down to 20 or 25%, you're still looking at around $600,000 to $800,000 in fees. Now, why would you want to pay DoorDash $800,000 to $1 million in fees instead of sending one or two employees that you get paid $25 an hour? That will cost you $50. They go and they pick it up at the location and bring it back. And then you save, all that money there. You're going to be saving, $800,000-$900,000. And let me tell you something, dude. There's a big difference between $800,000 in tax deductions and having $800,000 in the bank. There's a big difference. Deductions are different than solid cash. Deductions just lower what you owe at the end of the year. They're not tax credits. You understand, dude? Tax credits and tax deductions are two different things. This, in my opinion, is a waste of money. But listen, I'm not here to tell someone how to run their business. I'm just saying, look, this whole operation, in my opinion, this is my opinion, this whole lawsuit to me is frivolous. Spending all this money using DoorDash, I've never seen anyone do it. I've never seen any company consistently use DoorDash every single shift for 100, 150 people and pay all those fees, right? None of this makes any sense to me, right? There's something really just odd about this whole thing. Those people don't micromanage food delivery. Massive profits are being made filet mignon and shrimp every day. Listen, dude, it doesn't matter. If they want to have fucking filet mignon and shrimp every day, that's up to them. What I'm saying is one of the aspects of a CEO is to not waste money, to do things efficiently, okay? And look, I used to use DoorDash, like, I would say when I was going back and forth to see my girlfriend before she moved in the first year, I was using DoorDash and Uber a lot because it was a lot of driving and I was just tired, right? But I haven't used DoorDash and Uber in like a couple years because I just go pick up the food. I don't even use DoorDash, the app. I use the actual app from the specific company. I've got apps from every company. You get points, you get the best prices, no surcharges. It comes off your card. You go there and like you even going to McDonald's right now, you just put in your order, you tell them exactly what you want. And then you don't have to go through the drive-thru. They have curbside pickup. You put the number when you get there and they bring it out to you. It's all fresh and all taken care of. And you avoid all the fees. And then you don't even have to tip. That's another thing. Like if you're ordering if you're getting food from a restaurant that you would normally tip at, even on a takeout order, you should tip 10%. But if you're doing a DoorDash order and stuff like that, the amount of work the Dasher has to do, you're going to want to tip them at least 20%. So there's more money there. Like, dude, this is a very inefficient way of actually getting food for your employees. Hey, get food for your employees every day. It's a nice gesture, but there's a much more efficient and effective way to do it. This whole thing is just really weird to me, dude. Fine dining is different. I understand that. Are you a former driver, Honky Tonk Man, or are you a driver? Have you ever driven for DoorDash and Uber? Do you understand how the system works? Because unless you've done it, I've done it. I did it for almost 4 months, a couple of years back. Unless you've done it, you're not going to understand the system. So I think, honestly, I've never done it. Okay, so I appreciate your honesty, Honky Tonk Man. And you know what? No, I know you're very active with Robert Reese and some other people. How did you find out about Robert Reese? Like, how did you get involved with the gig economy when you've never driven it? Because let me tell you, I mean, I was driving during a time, there was a lot of crazy stuff going on, a lot of crazy shit going on, right? But what I wanted to say is that this person that's suing Pedro, hang on, because he has a variety channel. Okay, that's fair enough. Oh, I like Robert. This woman, I guess, again, Pedro, you could use this. You know, she basically reached out to DoorDash to offer her services for free regarding all the supposed issues. And some of the things that she's saying, she's not wrong about. But, you know, if you go to DoorDash, if you reach out to DoorDash and offer them your services for free based on your experiences, just because you have a company that does that doesn't mean they're required to even respond to you. She mentioned in the lawsuit that they didn't respond, and then she files a lawsuit after she, you know, tries to reach out to DoorDash to offer her services for free, and then when they don't respond to her, she ends up suing them for the stuff that she was going to help them with. Like, honestly, this is twisted, in my opinion, right? Pedro, you want to reach out to me, I will go over with you the entire 19-page, filing of the lawsuit. Is DoorDash still a good paying job? I don't recommend DoorDash or Uber. I think the gig apps, I mean, in some areas they're still doing okay, but they've really changed up their programs. It's really become more controlling, and you got to take a lot of crappy orders to get some good ones. So, I mean, I don't think it's as good as it used to be. But, I mean, if you know how to work it, you could still do okay. But it used to be much better. That's my point. These elites are twisted and corrupted. Be careful. Yeah, all I'm saying here is that, in my opinion, there's no legal merit to this case. This is protected First Amendment freedom of speech. Okay? All Pedro did was a reaction video to an article he saw. He used to be Pedro Santiago. I also heard he got his account reactivated. I haven't seen that video yet, but I saw the title. I'll check it out. I've been very focused on this particular legal story about Pedro, but I'll check out his other video and update you folks another time. But I wanted to talk about this today because I really think Pedro's getting screwed, not only by the lawsuit, but by the court of public opinion out here. And, you know, I wanted to put my organization, the GNA Network, the Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short, aka GNA Network. I wanted to put our name down and say, look, we stand by you on this one, man. We're an organization of principle and values. And most people nowadays don't give a fuck about principles and values. And even the person suing you, in theory, is a person of principle and values and trying to do good things through the company. But, I mean, this lawsuit, man, makes no sense. This lawsuit doesn't make any sense. Like, there's no legal merit. It's protected freedom of speech. The guy shared his opinions. He's entitled to do that. Now, she can sue anyone she wants. That doesn't mean she's going to win. In this case, if I had to be a betting man, I'd bet that she doesn't win. In this case, I bet you they put out a big $2 million number, and then they're going to try to maybe get 10 or 20 grand from Pedro, and then they're going to try to say remove the video and then do an apology video. And honestly, if I was you, Pedro, I mean, honestly, this is just my opinion. Do what you got to do. If they offer that, I would give them a big fuck you and say, I'll see you in court. Because if they're going to come down and try to settle with you, that means they know they have no legal merit. And in my opinion, they really don't. They don't. Now, if anyone wants to talk with me, I'm open to talking with you, Roy. If you want to move past our differences and have a conversation about this, email me. If Pedro, if you want to talk, I got your back. If you want to talk, I got your back on this. You know, I took the night off from even talking about Jamie. There's more to his story. I'll probably share a little bit more about that tomorrow. But I really think, man, I really think that, you know, Jamie's really struggling with his, what do you call it, with emotional support. There's a lot more to say about yesterday's stream, because look, I'm not even talking about this group of people, and they want to keep trying to get my attention. A bunch of fucking misfits, all right? That's okay. You know, we're going to keep moving forward. My girlfriend Dawn and I, along with the GNA, Tia, and Sandra. And, yeah, you folks just be a blip on the radar, right? So, anyway, I'm going to probably start wrapping this up here. I wish you the best of luck, Pedro. There's not really a whole lot more for me to say about this. I was going to do this from the studio, but there's a car over here that's driving really, really slow. You can go a little faster than that. And then there's another car on its ass over there. Oh. Okay. I was going to do this from the studio, but basically I didn't want to show this person's name or her company or any of that, because she's litigious. She is somebody that'll sue somebody for just breathing air, right? And I've dealt with people like that on here before. You folks know the one woman that just wanted to sue me over everything because, you know, the more she'd go to court with me, the more her audience would tune in and donate to her, because her audience, you know, they live vicariously through me, and they hate themselves so much that they love it when anyone tries to knock me down. Come on, Jamie, dude. Are you that fucking miserable, dude? Jamie, are you that fucking miserable to the point of where you got a fucking troll, man? And it is you. Because no one's more miserable than you. And I've nailed your situation, right? Like, you so desperately want to feel acceptance, right? You know, you're so desperately trying to fill the voids that you've been dealing with your family, and you're trying to, you want to move in with a woman that, is going through a divorce and has 2 kids. It's like you both are codependent on each other. I'll tell you this, dude. You keep trolling. When this woman fucking breaks your heart, when you realize that, this woman right now is using you for emotional support. You're like an emotional tampon to her. You're like a gay male girlfriend, like Coach Corey Wayne says. You're like a gay male girlfriend, emotional tampon, right? You talk by phone probably for hours every night, and you give her the emotional support she needs while she's at home with her kids in a home that's still owned by, I guess, her and her husband together because they're going through a divorce, and she can't do really anything with anyone until the divorce is finalized. And once it's finalized, then she'll find another guy, and it won't be you because you're just the fill-in guy for emotional support by phone, because no decent guy in their right mind is going to sit there for months, for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months, almost every night, having long conversations with a woman that they've only seen one time, right? You are that vulnerable, dumb, and naive to think that this is ever going to go anywhere, right? And you want to keep fucking with me. I'll fuck with you better, man, because I'll be truthful with you, and the truth hurts. No matter what you do out here, it doesn't matter. What matters is clearly identifying what you're going through and calling out exactly what's going to happen, right? I'm a distraction to you, man. I'm a distraction of your own demise, dude. I'm a fucking distraction of your own demise. I wish the best to Pedro. Have a good night, everyone, and thank you, Eli, for doing the stream. Great show. Thank you. I hope you all got some value for it. Just real quick before I go. Okay? Another thing, Jamie, the reason why you really want to move in, I'll just say it now. The reason why you really want to move in with Honey Bunch is because you want to feel stability. You want to feel emotional stability like you've never felt before, because you never got that from your parents. You never got emotional stability from your parents. And you think you're getting that from Honey Bunch, but what you're not realizing is that I don't think she's trying to be mean or play you, but honestly, you're just someone to talk to at night to pass the time. You're an emotional tampon is all you are, dude. I think he is desperate to have a human shield in case someone actually does have a bone to pick with him. I think it's exactly what I just said. And, I just hope one day he realizes it and tackles the underlying issue. He should sit down and talk with his mom and dad and tell them how he feels. And they should talk with him. And then they should all let it go and move on and love each other. Right? That's why you can't reason with a guy like that, because, his parents have never reasoned with him. His own fucking parents never taught him how to be reasonable. So it's like, should I be surprised he's a very unreasonable guy? Right? Thanks, Dawn. Have a nice evening, too. Dawn says, good night to you, respectfully, maturely, and professionally. Zero Infinity Live. Sorry, Zero Infinity Live, not Xfinity. That's the Comcast company. Zero Infinity Live. Awesome. Jamie's never had stability from his family. He's never had stability from his mom or his dad emotionally. Financially, they give him whatever the fuck he wants. That puts a band-aid on the fucking problem. And the guy's not getting what he really needs from his parents, right? Which is stability. He's looking for stability and acceptance from his own family, right? So he's trying to find stability through what he does on YouTube and through this Honey Bunch woman, right? And at the end of the day, I'm telling you, Honey Bunch, when you break this guy's heart, once your divorce is finalized and you break this guy's heart and find the guy you really want, then this guy's going to psychopathically attack you on YouTube. He will dox you. He will fuck with your life unlike anything you've seen. You want to ask every single woman that he's been with. I'm not saying this to be mean to him. This is the mindset he's in. He's a very hurt, very emotionally unstable, and fragile, weak man. He's a weak, fragile, pathetic man. And I say that in a loving way. I'm not trying to be mean. There's no other way to put it. He's a fragile, weak man, and you know that. But he's providing you phone emotional contact, and it's making you feel good and helping you pass the time while you wait for your divorce to finalize, right? He needs her as a status symbol. No. Well, you know what? You can call it a status symbol, casual observer. Yes, divorce. You can call her a status symbol, but it's more than that. It is basically, stability. That Jamie's seeking emotional stability. And he sees stability in her. I don't think she sees stability in him. What I think she sees in him is someone that will listen to all of her emotional stuff that she's going through all the time. Because she's not going to bring in, she's not going to, and no other normal guy would do this by phone as long as Jamie's done it. And she can't bring a guy into the house or go out with anyone and bang anyone else because she's going through a divorce and her husband will use that against her and probably try to get full custody of the kids. This is one really messed up situation. And look, James, I've come across women like this, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with her. Necessarily, I don't know her that well. She seems like a decent person. But the problem is you're basically playing into what she needs, and she's leading you to believe that when this is all said and done, you're going to all, get together and grow old happily ever after. And dude, if you even think that, you're out of your fucking mind, man. You're going to be so just much more hurt. You're gonna sink further into depression because you just can't see it. And I'm a guy that sees this shit. I've been through all this before, right? It's the truth of the matter, man. He's getting older. I feel bad about his situation. In my opinion, he would be best seeing a therapist. There's no shame in that. Yeah, casual observer. It looks like he's putting on a bit of facade or persona where he is around her as if he is desperate to get her in a certain position. Well, he's trying to look cool publicly to his shitty audience of mentally ill people, but even they're not buying it, right? He's basically losing respect from pretty much anyone that knows about his existence out here on YouTube. And I feel bad because it's like, I get it, but he did this to himself, right? I feel bad because I care about people, including him. But he's done this to himself. He's put himself in this position, and he's choosing to stay stuck in this position. He's stuck on stupid. He's stuck in a rut. He wants to put on this facade for what? For a few shekels, like they call it. Shekels money, right? Anyway, I got to go. We're at 101 minutes right now. An hour and 41 minutes. Leaving 23 in the box. 8 thumbs up. Please like, share, subscribe. Bang the bell. Select the notifications. Make sure you go to the other channel. Watch our podcast that Don and I released yesterday if you haven't already done so. Casual observer. I feel like there's something to gain from being with her in his eyes, and they don't think it's something loving. I think it has something to do with status and proving his insecurities. You're right. Well, listen. Obviously, if this woman's in decent shape and she's working a respectful job, she's got 2 kids, a house, she's going through divorce, okay? I mean, she's going to be looking for security and stability, which that doesn't exist with Jamie at this point and never has. He needs to turn that around first, right? So, I mean, right now, he thinks she's giving him a status symbol online, and most normal people know it's bullshit. And then what she's getting in return is an emotional phone buddy to, talk with every night, and maybe possibly even jerk off over the phone. I'm just keeping it real. That's what they're probably doing. It's just my opinion. But there's nothing better than the real deal. And I'm not even talking about sex. Like, what I love about Dawn, beyond all the intimacy and all that, what I love about Dawn is our emotional bond. And having someone that I love and really loves me, to be able to talk to about anything every day and tackle this world head on together. And that's what I think James wants. Maybe I think she's the one. Why not go for it? Do you think it's an absolute must for a man to be a provider? Women will not respect the man that they out-earn. It's a fucking fact. I'm not saying that women shouldn't work and get paid equally to men. They should. But the fact of the matter is, if a woman's out-earning a man, she's not going to respect him. Period. Women look up to a man for their strength and, emotional strength, physical strength. They look up to a man for being a provider and being at least an equally contributing partner, right? That's not happening here. Only thing you can do when you're across state lines. Well, no, there's more you can do. Is find someone closer to home, right? But before you should even put yourself out there, you gotta fix all your issues. You gotta lose weight, take care of your health, start dressing better, right? You gotta become more financially stable, emotionally stable, mentally stable, and all that. He's simply not in a good place for a relationship. And all he and others want to criticize me. I've been with Don 3.5 years. You look at our last podcast, we've had lots of people reach out, and they're incredibly happy for us, and we thank you for that. I heard GLM say that he tried to have phone intimacy with her, and it was one of the most awkward experiences she's ever had. You mean phone sex, phone intimacy? That's a very profound and professional way to say that, casual observer. It's all good. You know it's all good, right, casual observer? You know. It's all listen, it's all good. There's a lot of history here. I think you know that. I think you know that. There's a lot of history here. And my respect goes out to you. Let me just put it out to you that way. With that being said, I got to go, folks. We're at 105 minutes, an hour, 45 minutes. I got to go home, see my lady and the dogs and all that. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other. Pedro, reach out to me if you want, man. Listen, I'm seriously willing to help you. Free of charge. I want to help clear your name. I want to help you get out of this case. Have a good night, everyone. See you all tomorrow.